Welcome! I found a fun little video that has decade by decade footage of traffic, cars, and cityscapes, both urban and suburban, starting from the 1910s up to the present. So what I will do here is show you a small fraction of each decade's footage and have a link to the full video in the description box below. And in between, I'll give you some commentary of what to observe from the perspective of the technological progress of automobiles, building construction, and other aspects of technological progress visible in the cityscape. So with that, we can get started. So you can see in the 1910s and 20s, automobiles were very new, and the speed was obviously very low. Many of the roads were not even paved, but nonetheless, the United States was one of the only countries where a significant number of people even had automobiles. By the 1930s, a lot more cars are more advanced, and many more roads are paved, but the cityscape doesn't look that different. This is also the era where traffic fatalities started to become pretty high because the cars were able to move much faster than before. However, safety protocols were not there, and as you can see, roads did not even have lanes. 1940s, substantial improvement in the mechanical quality of cars. Roads are now divided and have lanes. Starting from the 1950s, obviously things are color, but don't be deceived by that. The world of the 1940s and earlier was also in color despite the filming capabilities. In the 1960s, you will see the first interstate highways, as well as a few more skyscrapers that you can see from this clip. '70s, some incremental improvement in the cars. It doesn't seem very different. A few more taller buildings. In the 1980s, it's starting to look a little bit more modern, but keep in mind that cars were still very primitive by today's standards. The horsepower in relation to fuel efficiency was only about 1/3 as good as the cars of 2021. Bear that in mind. And the same with the 1990s. The cars were still very inefficient and primitive by the standards of today. Mechanical failures were far more frequent. Now in the 2000s here, it seems like the progress is becoming less and less. However, that does not reveal the progress in the electronics side of things. That is improving exponentially, and the electronics features in cars is rising substantially. And here in the 2010s, we see not just electronics in the cars that we know about but don't see, but how much artificial lighting there is in cities at night through LED lighting, LED displays, and so forth, because the cost of such lighting and the electronics associated with it has become much less. And this tells us about what to expect for the next decade and beyond. As more of these large screen LED displays and LED lighting of all types becomes more common, we will see more elaborate and exotic urban lighting everywhere. Also, as the cars themselves become more efficient and we eventually someday get to self-driving vehicles, traffic will look very automated. There will be a lot more cars in a shorter distance all moving in systematic unison because human drivers with all their imperfections are no longer in traffic. So you might have twice as many cars per segment of road without any reduction in speed or efficiency and without any accidents. And these are things to expect in the future. But as we saw from these various decades, mechanical improvements of cars and eventually the electronics improvement both in cars and in cityscapes was quite apparent, and we have some idea of what cities might look like towards the end of the 2020s and into the 2030s as a result as well. So I hope you found this video fun, and if you like this type of content, please consider upvoting this video and subscribing to this channel. Thank you for watching.